What's up? Black men must become vulnerable with other black men. We have to understand of a lot of black men who want to be more confident, who want to be more masculine, who want to be stronger as a man. You have to understand it's all about being accepted by other men. And I know that sounds, oh, I don't have to be accepted. What I mean by, what I mean in this context of it, accepted by other black men is you have to feel comfortable and vulnerable with other black men. And I think that when you create a safe space where black men can come together and we're actually trying to see each other win in life, and this guy's trying to improve and this guy's trying to improve, then y'all can come together and improve together, right? And one thing that I've experienced in my own life is whenever you have a person in your life, a male in your life, a black man in your life, and he's emotionally unavailable and he can't be vulnerable around you, and you don't have the connection to feel vulnerable around him, what that does is it goes in and creates a lot of identity issues for that young man. uh just in if he feels like a man or not, if he feels strong, if he feels accepted by other men. A lot of us feeling like a man and being a man is how do other males treat us a lot of the times. And this can be changed and shifted as far as if you're growing as a person. But one of the things I had to understand is that a lot of men who want to be more stoic, or they want to control their emotions more, and they think that that's what it means to be a man. It's actually the opposite when it comes to your relationship with other men. And obviously, I'm about, a man controlling his emotions, a man being stoic or whatever. But when it comes to your relationship with other men, especially with other men you want to see improve and they want to see you improve, and y'all on each other's side and y'all brothers, it's important that y'all be emotionally available and vulnerable, and maybe talk about things that y'all might be struggling with. Because when you can open up and give that room to each other, and then y'all can come together and be like, hey man, you know, you going through this, or the other guy, you going through that, you know, I'm trying to see you win, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna be out to hate each other and try to hurt each other, right? And a lot of this starts with your father figure, right? I know a lot of men probably didn't grow up with a lot of father figures like that, but when it comes to your relationship with other men, a lot of the times it does start with the father figure. I feel like that's how it was with me. And when you have a father figure who he isn't emotionally available, he can't be vulnerable, that's gonna allow that young person to question their identity a lot, and how strong they are and who they really are a lot of the times, because they don't feel accepted, right? And obviously, I'm not saying you have to be accepted by the world, but what I'm saying is other black men have to make sure that the future generation and the boys can use their emotions in a way to help them the most, to make them the most confident. And when you open up to other men about maybe stuff, there are personal problems or things that you're going through, and just overall being emotionally available and vulnerable. Not saying it's all about we got to talk about stuff like that all the time, but we have to give each other that space in that room to be like, hey man, you ain't got to feel some type of way about you talking about this, and make you can't be in a position where you make that person feel uncomfortable because they may have this problem, or they may go through that and they may have that problem, right? And this is a lot of times what causes men to isolate, and they can't work together because they fear judgment from other men. And the only thing I'm trying to point out is purely that nobody else really cares. Nobody else is really gonna care. A lot of times, a girl gonna laugh at you, and a person of another race. I mean, obviously, an individual could care, but I'm just saying in general, the best place to express your vulnerability a lot of the times is with other black men who care about you and they want to see you at your strongest version, right? And I think that with my community, that's what I'm trying to create, a space for the men to it's not going to be therapy. Obviously, it's not going to be where we just cry all day or something like that, but it's obviously going to be in a place where we actually want to see each other win, and we want to really be brothers and give each other that space where we can open up about things like that. And one thing I found out is whenever you can open up about something that maybe you're going through that you don't want people to hear, something you don't like, when you open up with that brother about that, y'all connection gets stronger. And through your connection getting stronger, that's what makes you feel more like a man. Because you know what? uh Tony understand me, this guy understand me, and then this brotherhood of guys, this community of guys, they understand me and they really trying to see me win despite what I done went through, despite what I did wrong. Obviously, we're all about going up and improving together, and we have to give each other that space because that's required in order to really build a connection of people who are looking out for each other, right? You can't hide yourself and hide the parts of yourself that's vulnerable when you're coming together with stuff, because then you don't give a real version of yourself, right? And I understand that doesn't come, you don't just do that in one day. That comes with building trust, that comes with coming together, that comes with seeing each other have empathy towards one another. And obviously, I know us as guys, we're gonna talk about stuff, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna joke. But when it come down to it, when it's real problems in life that we go through, we need to have a heart towards that, have a soft spot towards that, seeing that with other men, right? Because there's so many men who go through stuff, they never tell anybody. Other guys will laugh at them. They'll just face so many problems, and they'll be in a place where their emotions are actually hurting them because we're men, and we're meant to express our emotions, but we have to express them in ways that make us stronger. And I think when you express your emotions and your vulnerabilities to other men who are trying to see you win, and they're trying to see you strong on every aspect of life, then that's the perfect environment, because then that's going to breed a connection with each other where y'all feel unstoppable and y'all really feel connected. And it's really, it's really a brotherhood, right? And that's the whole, that's the important part about coming together, man, that we can really be free around one another, right? And we want to see each other at our strongest, financially, mentally, spiritually, physically. We want to see each other at our strongest, and as far as our relationships as well, having good relationships as far as romantically and platonically around, just coming together with other men. So this is the thing that a lot of the times jealousy can get in the way. A lot of the time, so many things can get in the way of us coming together. But one of the key things that's going to help us really build a connection is being vulnerable with each other, being around each other, and really understanding that we all are trying to see each other win in life, right? And that's something you just don't get a lot with a lot of black men, because we're caught up in, we already have a self-destructive culture, and then we just caught up in so many other things with being degenerate and being very superficial and very materialistic. And the one thing I had to understand is relationships are more important than a dollar. Relationships with people are more important than a dollar, right? So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.